Thanks, Amanda. Thanks, Richard. So we've looked at how important free play is, and particularly that being on the doorstep. We've looked at the political landscape, and we've looked at how playgrounds and play areas are really important for health, well-being, activity, and inclusion. So I'm going to really look at three areas where I think that we can really improve matters, and I think that the industry really can raise the bar in what we provide. So we're going to look at three areas: what the teenage girls want, and that's been mentioned already. We're looking at a simple way to activate our communities and how learning can be more fun outdoors. And I'm conscious of time, so I'm going to move through these fairly quickly. So what do teenage girls want? In fact, what they don't want is generally what's currently provided. Muggers, they feel that these areas are too enclosed and they don't feel safe. These other areas are mainly dominated by boys. And Make Space for Girls again were mentioned, and they've really championed this approach, and we really applaud them. But in this space where we've been working, we did a video 15 years ago looking at these issues, and that the design wasn't right for girls, but really applaud them for championing this and getting this into the public eye. Women in Sport and Yorkshire Sport Foundation have done a lot of work also in this area, and these are some of the findings through this. So interestingly, there was safety concerns, transport, we've mentioned that already, being an issue. Disappointing in the existing public space provision. Typical youth facilities are male dominated, and that young people have a lot to contribute. So some recommendations kind of come out of that, and we're going to kind of look at how we can develop this further. But these are some statistics from the Park Watch report. And this was basically saying that 92% of teenagers using muggers were boys, and so that provision wasn't a problem. And the key thing that Make Space for Girls talk about is ask the girls what they want. So we've done this, and we've done this in many different ways and many different occasions. But the key thing that we've found through these consultations is these teenage girls don't know what they don't know, and so quite often the things that are coming out of this are actually solutions that are already existing. So we took the information from this, and we took this research, and we also challenged our global partner program. And this is what make us different. We don't manufacture anything. We have a number of different partners. So we challenged the young designers in Finland and Spain and Germany, Holland and Switzerland to get together with our team. Most of these were young girls, which was helpful, and we asked them to start looking at their ranges and how we could design spaces better. So one of the key things was hangout areas and seating areas, and these had to be social areas. They had to be able to talk to each other and face in, but also it was helpful to be at height. So I'm just going to look at some ideas really that started coming out of these initial kind of sketches and ideas. Other games came out as interesting. So things that people could play together or try out, or just have a go at. Areas where big massive turntables were important, or frames where people could just sit and chat. So these are some of the ideas that started to develop. Swings was a key one, and obviously swings are important in parks, but we can start to look at group swings better. There's high swings, which are really interesting. Basket swings are always popular, and the swings available that can move with one another as well, which again is quite interesting. Areas where we could use technology, and we can use technology to help get people more active. So here's an interactive football wall or ball wall. It's been used for much more than football. And this is a hangout shelter with a difference. It's a DJ booth, So you can play your own music on it, and you have all the effects of a DJ booth. So teenagers are starting to really get into music, fashion, these kind of things that really go together in that kind of youth culture. So from there, we looked at what are the viable alternatives. So we decided we could put all these things together, and we've come up with a concept called CORE. And some of the essentials that came out of that was to use technology and to use that to help get people active, to look at having equipment on site, inclusion, Amanda mentioned, massively important. Could we have these areas activated, and can we provide data which proves the success of these areas? So these were the kind of key elements that we wanted to have within a core concept. We also wanted it to be customizable and easy for people to look at and to understand and to choose, and actually designed in such a way that it was a very easy way to change a mugger into something that had much more activity and much more choice for the community. And just some examples of what this could look like. We're starting to think about different activities, different activity levels, having this walking, running track around it, and you can imagine that on a housing development that track could actually go around the community. And we've done something similar at Loughborough University, where there's a running track all around the accommodation on site. And the next one was designed really specifically for girls. So we had lots of seating, hangout areas. We had an area for doing TikToks on this, a large dish. And these were all of the research that kind of came out of the Make Space for Girls. So it's possible to have more innovative solutions in this space. Secondly, a really simple way to activate communities. And I think why is there a need for this? So there is provision, all over the country for this. But what if you come across this and there's nothing there? You don't carry a basketball around with you. You can't do anything by chance. And what if we were able to put equipment into the spaces where people would use them? So what if we were able to do that? Would we find that we would have much more activation? And I think it is possible. We have a new concept called Box Up, which is a system of equipment lockers, which can be loaded with different equipment. You can then go in and download the app. It will scan some ID. You can select the activity that you want. You can up to 3 hours free use of the equipment without a deposit or a credit card. And then you can evaluate and feedback and put the material back again for someone else to use. So this is a new innovation for us. And I was thinking about one of our country parks where there were areas like this. So there was a basketball hoop, there's a table tennis table, 2 table tennis tables, in fact, that no one ever uses. There's an area of tarmac, an area of open space. And to put a box up in the middle of this space with equipment for families to use, to try something for the first time, we think would be massively encouraging. And ideally, you could link these two things together. You could have a core alongside a box up. So the third area I'm going to just touch on, and very, very quickly, is what if learning was fun? And we talked about in COVID earlier having an issue on the physical activity of kids, but it's also caused a global learning crisis. Kids are living at home, and I've got 2 teenage kids, so I'm not sure many of you experienced this, but yeah, it wasn't much fun there, and I'm just glad that my kids were a bit older. Having younger kids would have been, I think, much more difficult in this situation. But children have lost this basic numeracy and literacy skills, but also teachers are looking for solutions, and there's all of these different initiatives for teachers looking for, you know, different ways to teach and learn. So what if we were able to do this on the move? What if we were able to take this learning outdoors? And we were able to learn by doing. And I'm actually not sure whether this video is going to work or not. So we're going to give it a try, and I don't think it is. Okay, so we have a system which is 7 pillars. They're 360-degree touchscreen pillars where you can touch it and you can play different games within it. It's backed up by over 60 different games that you can play. These are all linked to the STEAM curriculum, and we have an app which means that you can choose the games that you play. Alongside that, we have a teaching aid. So this is a guide with a number of different lesson plans that can be used by the school. And it really gives the teachers the confidence to be able to take a class outdoors and be able to play, because that also is one of the barriers to outdoor learning. Teachers don't know how to do it. So this guide allows that to happen. And kids can also self-learn, and they can direct their own learning outdoors through these lesson plans. But mostly they can have fun while doing it. Alongside that, we've developed some little classroom areas so that lesson can continue outdoors as well. And this is what that could look like in a different setting. So we believe that innovation is really important for getting our communities more active, and I think we've come up with 3 different solutions in different spaces that will really help to do that. And I'm happy to take any questions that you might have at this stage.